Hello? Good.
We make USAA insurance for renters who make the most of their space and money. That's why we make it easy to cover the stuff you love.
Warning: this program may contain explicit language that may be considered offensive or inappropriate to children and some adults.
The following content is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello, everyone who's hanging out with us out there in the world. This is Duryea Rashad. I am the admin for the Writers Room, which is a community on Facebook. Just a few things, a few housekeeping things. So essentially, we do writer sprints. Every Saturday we have a session at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard where it's called Wine and Reads. So we essentially do either writing sprints, or we'll have a editing session, or we'll have like a book club session. Our next book club is actually next week. We're going to be talking about Save the Cat chapters 3 and 4. So make sure you come out and see us for that. It's really dope. If you haven't read it or haven't bought it yet, go buy it by Blake Snyder, Save the Cat. Also, we'll do live readings of writers' new works, so that way those writers can give feedback and get, it's really a positive space for people to come and be writers and share and love and all the other fun stuff. So, otherwise, that's really all the housekeeping I have. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in Liz and get everything started. Hold on, let me get her in here. Liz, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I forgot to pull up our timer, so let me do that now.
No, you're good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. How's your Saturday been so far?
It goes. It's trucking along.
Right.
But overall, it's good. I have no complaints.
Right. My Saturday is, pretty uneventful thus far, so, and I don't mind that either.
I was gonna say that sounds
totally
like a
fine.
great Saturday. Truthfully, non-eventful.
Yes,
Chillin.
non-eventful. So we started our first timer. So, hey, when Jessa, is this Jessa? Like my Jessa, the Jessa that I know? If it is, hey girl, hey. Yeah, so essentially what we're gonna do, if you see that timer down in the corner, the bottom right, is that the right? Bottom left. The bottom left. When that timer hits 0, Jessica Winowich, hey Jessica.
Oh my gosh! Hi Jessica.
Hey. When that timer hits, thanks for the follow, by the way, I really appreciate that. When that timer hits 0, then we are going to sprint. The way the sprints work is you essentially just do exactly that. For 10 minutes, you only sprint. So that's all you're going to do. Hey, Rukia, how are you? Now, if you're not a writer and you have something that you want to get done, this is also a time to do that. You can also get on here and you can sprint. You can write, you can write something. You can, do your taxes. You can clean that closet that you were, organize your shoes, whatever you want to do. Hang out with us in the chat, talk to us, and then that's how we'll spend our breaks. I ignore that it says sprint. That should be saying sprinting in and then the countdown. Look, I'm frazzled right now. I always forget like the smallest stuff. So I'm gonna play a little background music. Let me know in the chat if y'all can't, if the music is too loud and you can't hear me or Liz,
Please, yeah.
or if you can't hear the music. Because I can hear Liz. I don't know if y'all can hear Liz. I can barely hear myself though. Isn't that crazy?
That is interesting. Are you playing music right now?
Yes, you can't hear it.
Mm-mm.
Can you guys hear it in the chat?
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's gonna look great.
You mean the charmed one? I'm talking to, yeah, you mean the charmed one? I'm so surprised you don't hear music.
I mean, I can try to.
No, I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, I got it maxed out. It's not. That's okay, though.
Okay.
And then the next one you gotta host. Oh, cool.
Have we decided who's hosting the one after? Oh, yes. The one after me is supposed... I'm working on a guest host. So once I hear back from them, we'll know. But I don't know who's after that. It is exciting. Hopefully they can come on. You hear a little music? Okay, I figure. It shouldn't be loud. Should it be louder, Ricky? Or is it fine like it is? Because like over here... Okay, it's fine. Because over here it is blasting.
But that's okay.
I wanted it to be low. I don't want it to be like loud. But it sounds like for me, it's just like...
In your face.
Yes.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
So it's interesting to say the least. So what are you working on today?
Me, I am going to be fixing a treatment that I made for somebody that I'm working with. They sent me a book and they asked me to make it into a feature, basically. And so I sent them the treatment. They got back notes, and now I'm going through another one.
Okay.
How about you? What did you recommend?
Same thing. Different day. Yep. Same exact thing.
Love it.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my first draft. It's not horrible. I had to really consider. See, it's so loud for me.
Aw.
But there, it's not that loud. It's fine.
Okay.
Say something. If I can hear you better this way. Yeah, that's better. So it's I had to go back in and figure something out. I don't know. I've never written a short story, so I just feel like you can't really hear Liz. That's what the problem is.
I feel like that's the forever problem.
That is the forever, because for some reason your sound is not coming through.
Let's see. I'll play with some of the settings on my end and see if I can make it sound cool.
I'm not good at this kind of stuff, so it's interesting because I have no clue how to work this stuff.
Oh, no worries. Did that help at all? If I turn that up and talk a little bit louder?
I can hear you fine. It's whether they can hear you or not.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, bummer. That's okay. I can be quiet. I can just work on some.
No, it's okay. We'll figure it out. This is through... What is this? This is through Streamlabs, and I don't know really how to operate Streamlabs as much. It's okay. Through StreamYard, it's fine. We could start doing this on StreamYard because it seems like that might be the smarter thing to do anyway. But it's easier interaction, especially for me because it's mostly on Twitch. This is also streaming. We're also streaming on YouTube. Can y'all hear her now?
Testing. Can you hear me? Hello, world.
I really want to send this over there. I don't know how to do that. My assumption is they can hear you, but the music not so much. But you know what? Whatever.
That's okay. That'll be okay.
Anyway, so yeah, so I was writing it again, and I'm like, okay. So anyone who doesn't know, my short story is about these two guys who I can hear you, Liz. just not as much as Duryea. Yeah, that makes sense. Mine is louder because we're hearing Liz through my microphone. So
Oh, is that what's going on? Okay.
yes.
Got
So because I don't know how to have her feed directly into this thing. I'm not a tech savvy person. I'm so sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
But let me see, audio settings, speaker. Nope, doesn't give me that option. But so mine is about these two dudes who are in love. It's turning less from like because there's just not enough. It was supposed to be a love story. It's not a love story anymore. Now it's like a murder mystery. Oh, we're not supposed to be, but it's like well, because I realized trying to make it a short story, you have to hit the points that are important, and like having these scenes where they're just like staring into each other's eyes and shit like that they seem arbitrary. They do because it's literally just that. It's just them being like sweet, and so I've been trying to find ways to like. So the scene I'm writing right now is, and I'm gonna call it a scene because I don't ever know what else to call it.
Yeah, no, that works.
The scene I'm writing right now is the latest scene.
Cool.
There was just like a fight at a party. Can you see the screen?
Can I see the screen on Twitch?
Yes.
No, just hold on, my page just crashed. Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, so you see this is a gun. So essentially, they were at a party, and Jax was with his dope man, and they were like reeing up or whatever, like divvying all the drugs out or whatever. And then Simeon was kind of creeping because he was just curious. He kind of creeped and looked. The dope man got like really really pissed, like jacked him up and everything, held a gun to his face. And I kind of want you to read that part, but we don't have time right now, so I'll let you read during the break. And then just I wanted to get your feedback. And then so now now Jax has given him a gun because he wants him to be able to protect. He wants to be able to protect himself. And I'm just like, this scene where he's giving him a gun is also supposed to be a scene that's like really romantic because this is the first time they like this. Well, not the first time they're intimate, but like they get close to being intimate. Right, but now it's about this gun, and I'm trying to figure out how to turn it from the story about this gun and then segue it into this romance. Yeah, so, but I'll let you read it after this sprint.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. We'll talk more.
Dope. I wish I could turn up the volume on your microphone. That would be perfect.
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm maxed out all the way around.
I know you are. There's got to be a way I can do it.
But that's okay. I mean, we're about to be in a sprint, so we'll be quiet anyway.
I'm gonna figure this out. Speaker output volume. Say something.
We are in a writing sprint on Twitch. This is Liz and Julia on Saturday afternoon.
You speak so quiet too.
I'm not trying to. I am not trying. Okay, so this is full voice.
It doesn't matter because it's just not. It's for some reason. Let me see. Try it again. Go. Say something.
Okay.
No, that didn't work.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No, it's not working.
It's okay. It's all good. I will.
I can hear you fine. We can hear you. It's just.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
So we'll play with this so that the next time this isn't an issue. Okay, guys.
No worries.
Here we are at our first sprint. We're going to sprint for 10 minutes. I'm going to turn the music up a little louder. Let's see. Sprint. Okay, so I'm going to turn the music up a little louder, and then we're going to sprint. Give me 1 second. Can you hear that?
No, but if they can hear it, that's fine.
You can't hear that? Okay. All right. A sprint.
All right, into the first sprint.
Okay. Super sprint.
Yeah.
Great.
Gosh. All right. How'd it go? How was yours?
It went well. I'm just writing. Like the sprints are great for just getting that writing out for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So yes. Hello, Alexis. How are you? Alexis 04. Did you graduate in 04? Or were you born in 04? That's the question.
That is the question. That's true. It's a very big difference between the two.
So that's good. I'm glad you're great. How's your Saturday going? I was about to say Sunday. It does feel like, yeah. That's so dope. How's yours go?
Me?
Yeah.
It's going good. It's the biggest hang up that I have with this is that it's based on a nonfiction book.
Okay.
That's written to be investigative journalism. I think we talked a little bit about this without going into specifics. But it covers a span of about 65, 70 years.
Okay.
And to kind of compile that into a 2-hour timeline is a little bit, for me, it's a little bit hard because I'm used to writing in that 1-hour TV.
Right.
compacted
Why
version
is
with
2 hours I'm sorry, Alexis, they didn't let me put Alexis XD. Okay.
Totally get it.
Right. It's been great in yours. Ours has been great so far. We're just sprinting, chilling, having fun. This is always a good time. Why is it are they restricting it to 2 hours? Because usually books are hard to, so that they want it less than 24 hours, 20 hours.
Wait,
They want it less than 2 hours. Sorry, I said 20. It's
It's
2.
you said the 20 hours. I was like,
Right.
yes. So they want it to be not like a Marvel like feature film, but like an average 90.
A Marvel length feature film. That's funny.
Yeah, and I get it. I totally get it. So I've been watching a bunch of comparable films to see how they structured it and how they made it work.
Okay.
And I think I have some ideas of how to attack it. There's so much life lived in those years that I'm
Right.
trying to figure out what's the most important to include and what needs to be left out.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. See you soon, Alexis. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read this to you, and if anyone else in the chat would love to give me feedback, I would love some feedback because I am stumped. Like I've gotten some feedback, and I haven't incorporated the feedback I've gotten yet. So, but overall, I want to hear just any thoughts. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Simeon had been at the party for well over 3 hours that night, and he was eager to leave. I need to change that already. And he was eager to leave. He had never really developed the stomach for large gatherings or any prolonged social interactions. He and Dana spent their better part of his teen years constantly relocating. And after a while, the things most kids his age coveted most became somewhat trivial and forced. But this was a rare chance to see Jax again. They had a few encounters since the day at the diner, a late night car ride or listening to music out at the railroad tracks, but this was a public outing in Jax's world, so there was no way Simeon would be passing up a chance to learn more about him. Simeon had never been more nervous in his life. Maybe it was the anxiety of trying to impress the first... I'm sorry, I need to start this timer. I always forget to do that.
Oh no, you're good. No worries.
Okay, got it. All right, so where was I at? Simeon had never been more nervous in his life. Maybe it was the anxiety of trying to impress the first guy he'd ever gotten up the courage to talk to romantically. And it could have also been the complete lack of knowledge when it came to any teenage social etiquette, or likely a combination of both. Yet, he had promised himself that he would at least try to have a little bit of fun. Jax finally strolled back up to him carrying 2 red Solo cups. "Here, guy, drink this." "What is it?" Simeon said cautiously as he sniffed at the rim. "Tequila," Jax chuckled, "and it's the expensive stuff too, so take it easy." "I don't really drink. We've been at this party for hours, and you haven't pulled yourself away from this corner other than to take a piss." Jax had an excellent point. "I just figured, I don't know, maybe you'd relax a little." Simeon noticed the deeply solicitous look on Jax's face, and as he regarded him, waiting to see what Simeon would do. "Hey, we can leave if you're not feeling this." "I totally understand," Jax told him. "No," Simeon whispered, "I want to be here." "What?" Jax shouted over the music. "I want to be here," Simeon stated more firmly, "with you." Simeon watched as Jax's face lit up. Are you sure? Jax questioned warmly. Simeon simply smiled and answered by downing a huge gulp of tequila. Whoa, guy, Jax said, pulling the cup away from Simeon's mouth. That shit's gonna burn. And burn it did. The sensation on Simeon's tongue didn't prepare him for the heat that followed once the liquid hit his chest. His eyes lit up. He blew out his mouth and began to cough. I told you to take it easy, Jax said, sporting the hugest grin. The sensation had barely begun to subside when Simeon heard the voice of someone approaching him from behind. Slim don't know how to shoot his tequila, huh? Once Simeon lifted his head, he saw this hulking mass of a man standing before him. The guy was a little bigger than Jax, but mostly muscle. He had his hair wrapped in a do-rag with a fitted straight-billed Rockies cap on top. Simeon had never seen a guy wear so much jewelry in his life. He looked like someone ripped out of a Quality Control music video. Gio, what's good? Jax said, turning to the man. He reached out and the two dapped each other up. It's good. Who's your friend? Gio threw his gaze onto Simeon. His entire aura and the way he carried himself made it very clear to all those who were around that he wasn't to be fucked with and that he got anything that he wanted. And from the way he was looking at Simeon, it was clear that he wanted him. This is Simeon. Simeon, this is Gio. Hi, Simeon muttered. Gio didn't respond. He just tilted his chin up in acknowledgement and continued to consume Simeon's presence. After what Simeon felt was the most tense and awkward 5 seconds of his life, Gio turned to Jax and nodded his head in the direction of the back room. After which, without a word, Gio turned and disappeared into the crowd of people. Simeon turned to Jax, whose face had completely gone severe. He handed Simeon his drink and told him he'd return shortly. Wait, what's wrong? Simeon probed. Nothing, just a little business. I won't leave you alone for long, I promise. There was that sly grin again. Jax shot him that reassuring smirk right before fading off into Gio's direction. Whenever Jax sent it towards Simeon, it seemed to totally disarm him. There was a strange sensation that washed over Simeon at that point. He knew that when Jax spoke of business, it meant something illegal, something dangerous. Simeon put it together pretty quickly that Gio must have been Jax's coke connect. Being abandoned by his parents because of who he chose to love meant Jax had to provide for himself at a very young age. So he made money using the most valuable resources he had, his mind and his body. However, Jax made sure to adhere to a strict set of rules concerning who he chose to do business with. Older professional men who had a lot to lose made the best Johns. They would want to preserve secrecy at all costs and had a less likelihood to cause unnecessary problems. Of course, providing the right stimulants to any business situation drove up Jax's prices as well. So, the added risk of moving weight was a necessary one. Gio clearly wasn't a client. He had a hard and coarse exterior, a trait that drastically went against Jax's criteria for a malleable client. So if Jax and Gio had business together, it must have been something more devious. Without knowing why, Simeon began drifting off into the party toward the room he had seen Jax and Gio slip into. After a few awkward bump-ins and excuse-me's, Simeon arrived at the door to the bedroom and decided to take a peek inside. There were a few scales on a small table in front of an old couch next to the bed. Jax was bagging the last of the product into a small backpack while Gio counted a stack of 20s and 10s. It was strange to Simeon that he was altogether terrified and completely magnified. That's not the word I want I'm going to use. I'll find a better word later. Completely attracted by what he was seeing. This went against everything he had ever been told by his mother. He'd always been taught to play it safe, follow the rules, get grades, and thrive in school. But there was something about Jax, seeing his kindness, his tenderness. It totally juxtaposed his lifestyle. This lifestyle he had been forced into, and to think that someone who was surrounded by all of this fur wanted nothing more than to be with him. The feeling was intoxicating. What the fuck? Simeon heard Gio yell out. That's when he realized that Gio was staring right at him from the bed. How could he see Simeon peeking through the crack in the door? At that point, it didn't matter because Gio was already barreling toward him. Before Simeon could rise, the door was swinging open and Gio had grabbed him around the collar and pulled him inside. Jax, what kind of shit is this? Gio fumes, clutching Simeon's shirt in his fist. Chill, dude, Jax pleaded. Nah, fuck that chill shit. Who you bring in my crib, nigga? He's just a friend. You think it's cool to go creeping through people's house and shit? I'm sorry, I was just what, huh? Bruh, he's great. I need to put who's talking. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so you think, I just wrote this because the dialogue. Creeping through house and shit, this is He's talking. I'm gonna write it right now.
Perfect. Yeah, because I was looking at it and I'm like, I think I follow this, but I'm not 100%. The dialogue, everything else.
Yes. Yeah. Geo snarled at Simeon. I'm sorry, I was. I'm sorry, I was just what, huh? Bruh, he's green. He was probably just curious. Fuck that curious shit. Either he a rap or he the cops. Or he the ops, sorry. Ops, not cops.
Oh shoot, I just went another one.
It's you tripping.
Man, Geo does not mess around.
No. Terrified, Simeon tried to speak. I just wanted to shut the fuck up, Geo barked as he cocked his fist back, then cracked Simeon hard in the face. Simeon could taste the blood rush onto his tongue. Geo, what the fuck? Jax yelled, rising from the bed. He ain't no street nigga. He don't live this life. Yeah, well, he need to learn how to mind his fucking business, Geo snaps towards Simeon and presses dangerously close. You hear what the fuck I'm saying? Despite his terror, Simeon's rising anger was steadily approaching a boil. Either way, he had no clue how to react. So he chose silence. You better learn how to move, little nigga. Fuck with the wrong one and you could lose your life. Geo cut his eyes severely to drive home his point. You understand? Question mark. Question. The heat of Geo's breath and the stench of stale vodka made Simeon's skin reel. He knew he was overpowered, but being held this way, defenseless once again, had turned his blood to lava. Simeon refused to give him the satisfaction of relenting, even if that meant he'd get his ass kicked. He had received worse. He stared straight into Geo's eyes and stiffened his back in pure defiance. The sharp cut of his eyes divulged his fury and disgust, a disrespect that Geo just couldn't allow. Before Simeon knew it, Geo had reached into his waist. Suddenly, the touch of metal sent ice through Simeon's core. He didn't recognize the smell of heptane as it assaulted his senses, but after watching the blood rush from Jax's face, Simeon knew what was pressed against his chin. The jet black Beretta M9 rang as Geo pulled back the hammer. Nigga, Geo's frenzied glare had deepened, and he gritted his teeth as he dared Simeon to defy him. I said, do you understand? Geo, you tipsy right now. It's a crowd full of people. It's a crowd full of people. Shut the fuck up, Geo snarled at Jax, never taking his eyes off Simeon. The silence was thick. Then, after a tense beat, Geo asked one last time, you understand? Simeon couldn't resist a deep swallow before his response. He managed to slightly nod his head, just enough to signify his assent. The room was silent. Simeon's body rocked. He wasn't sure if it was from the base of the party outside or his heart nearly bursting out of his chest. It seemed like they stood there forever waiting for someone to move, and finally Geo drew the pistol away from Simeon's face. Smart man, Geo slowly widened the gap between them, making sure to maintain the threat of his presence. Simeon looked over to Jax, who was looking at Geo with an ire totally unfamiliar to him. Simeon was terrified at what he might do. Now get the fuck out of my crib. You too, Jax, and don't you ever bring no random niggas in here again. Once there was enough space, Jax moved into Simeon and gripped him tightly. You okay? Jax asked Simeon. He wasn't, but he felt safer now, even if only a little. So he nodded and tried to mask his angst. Let's get out of here, Jax said as he rubbed Simeon's arm and began to glide him toward the door. They were almost there when Geo called out to Simeon once again. And you, whoever the fuck you are, if I see you again, Simeon turned back to see Gio pull up the hem of his shirt to reveal the slick black handle of the gun. Okay, so we'll discuss it on the other half of the of the sprint because we have to sprint now. But yes, because I definitely want / need all the feedback. So let me.
Absolutely.
And if you were listening to that and you want to give me any feedback too, you know, and I like all feedback. Good, bad, and different. I'll take it. All right.
I'm also going to drop a writing prompt in chat for anybody that's looking for something to do.
Dope. Yeah, so there will be a writing prompt in the chat, and we try to drop them in during every sprint so that if you're watching and you're writing and you don't have anything to write and you just want to practice, you have something to write. Also, if you're watching right now, let us know what you're working on. We would love to know what you got going on in your sprinting world. So I'm going to turn up the music, and we're going to start a sprint. All right.
I don't know why, but it always surprises me when it goes by quickly.
I don't know why either. You think 10 minutes is a long time, but it's not a long time. So that was our second sprint, I believe.
Yay, everybody.
Ricky says, my sprint is on making a graphic. How is that going?
Is it for talking out, I'm guessing?
No, this is for geeking out.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Ricky got a compliment from my brother last night. He was like,
Aww.
yeah, he saw the one we're doing for Aliens. He saw the graphic and he was just like, I really like your graphics and your promotion skills. And I was like, it's a team effort. And so I had to tell her.
Awesome.
Yeah, very creative. What am I doing? Great job. What's that? That's what it is. Okay. All right. So feedback.
Yes. Feedback on what you just read?
Yes.
Yes. No, it's intense, but I love it. So okay, did you keep in what we talked about before? I'm trying to make it look like a Degrassi symbol. That's awesome. That'll look really great.
Oh, you want to do Degrassi? I'm gonna be silent on that episode. Silent.
Never watched Degrassi.
Not even for a day.
What? What was your childhood? What did you watch?
Not Degrassi. I've never heard of Degrassi till Drake got famous.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. Teen dramas? Okay, cool. I can do teen dramas. I don't know nothing about Degrassi though.
Good teen drama. It's the original teen drama. We'll go back. What's more?
I guess.
What predates? Besides Dawson's Creek, because I don't really count that as like a teen drama.
How? But they were teens.
That's true. Okay, so, but Degrassi was around long before.
Probably. You might be right. That might be the first one in America.
Right. There's got to be something. But
I can't think of one. Saved by the Bell. It's not a drama. Go ahead.
Back to writing. Are you keeping in what we wrote in before, or what you wrote in before, about Simeon being the one that's more internal as far as like their past, and Jax is trying to open them up?
Yes.
That sticks. Okay. So I like what you have. The only thing that I feel Degrassi had actual teens US shows. Oh, that's a really good point.
That's very true.
Yeah, no, Ricky makes it.
Lark Voorhees was 30 when she was on Saved by the Bell.
Was she really?
Yeah. She was the oldest one.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So the only thing that made me stop and think is that in the beginning and now, and I don't know where this fits in terms of
The timeline, right.
Yeah, but Simeon does a lot of observational stuff and has a very rich internal life.
Yes.
And if this is progressed farther into the story, I would love to see that kind of come out a little bit more. Like, this would be a really interesting. It may not be that this is as far along past that point. But this could be a really interesting opportunity to give him the chance to progress a little bit as a character, for the good or for the bad.
In what way?
Like, before you had him where he didn't want to talk about anything, but he was incredibly emotionally hurt. Oh, Jessica says, I'm working on my Storytellers Across Georgia right now. That's amazing.
I don't even know what that is, Jessica. What is that?
Yeah, tell us more, please. We want to learn. Also, I hope everything got worked out as far as your play with the charges.
Right?
Yeah, no, girl, I felt for you during that. And I really, really hope all that got worked out.
She's better than me, because I would have been like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Right? Yeah, no, I fully agree. Shoot, sorry, I got ADD.
It's okay.
For a second. We were talking about how before Simeon was, yes, okay, so he before Jax is like, I'm gonna be there for you, I'm gonna help you, kind of come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Simeon at this point still feels very, very like trapped behind his whole emotional whatever.
Yeah.
And like he's observing, and he's not very proactive in terms of things. And
no.
This is later.
What you just read is not later. what you just read is before what. No, I get what you're saying though. It still doesn't matter. But what you just read is actually before what I wrote the last time. Because I told you I had to go back.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Ignore everything I just said.
Yeah, I had to go back. So I was just like, I had to, because there was something missing. Because I guess to me, like, that's why I say it became a murder mystery. Because I told you, like, all we know at this point is that somebody's dead.
Yeah.
And Simeon and Jax are being interrogated about it. And
I'm
so
assuming it's at the hand of Geo, right?
we don't know. Like, I'm not telling.
But that's what you're setting up. Yes.
No, that's not what I'm setting up. That's not what I'm setting up. No, that's not what I'm setting up. But I want, because it's got to be a murder mystery, so I want there to be like this, what the fuck? So all we know, like at first we think Jax is the dead body. And then we find out that he's not even dead. And so then we keep going as the police are like, we know, so everyone else knows what happened. The audience doesn't know who's dead or why until the end. The person who's dead, that's actually one of my worries about it. Like, the person who is dead, I've been really meticulous literally about how I talk about them. It's something that if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see it. But I talk about it all the time. It's like, in passing, I like mention something and then I'll move on. So I'm intentionally trying to like have it right in your face, but so that the audience doesn't go like, oh, it's this person. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious, but it's not obvious because you don't really see them.
Yeah.
Until they're saying like, we know until it's just emphatically said. I do worry about it coming off like out of nowhere. I do worry about that, but we'll only know that once the whole thing is written.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's way too early.
Yeah, you only know that once the whole thing is written. But yeah, like writing the Geo scene, I guess my biggest worry about the Geo scene was like, I wanted it to be like I told you. I thought this in my head. This was a movie at first, and now restructuring it to be a short story. It's so interesting. Originally, the story with Geo was going to be different, and instead I made it what it was. So, do you think that it's too much? I guess no. Okay.
No, I like taking everything I said away from it because I was too busy trying to put it in context of what we'd already established. But if it's before and it's brand new, I really like the steady build of it.
Okay.
And I like the dialogue a lot.
Okay.
I think it adds to it. It's a natural progression, and I think it stacks upon itself really nicely as something that starts out really like fun and innocent. We're in a party, and then like, oh god, this is and then it snowballs.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, no, I think that's successful.
Amazing, because I was just like, when I was writing it, I was like, wow, he went from zero. But there's, I guess for me, I worry about people like if you know anything about illegal shit can get it can get serious very fast. But if you don't, I don't want you to feel like, oh, this seems like too much too quickly.
No. Well, I mean, that's true because I'm also we're on stream, so I can't really like.
Yeah, I know, right. But I mean, I guess for me though, I don't want to take away from that because to me, authentically, like, you're putting your eyes on something. I know that's a big street. No, you don't put your eyes on things that you're not supposed to have your eyes on. So that could actually, in fact, get you killed. So it's like, to me, it's like, yes, this makes sense. And I think to anyone else who like, even if you watch some gangster movies, you get it. But yeah. So okay.
I would like to think that the precedent has been set that even people that are not familiar would have watched enough things of similar nature to be like, oh, this is that moment where everything escalates. So,
right.
You know, and that's
things can escalate quickly. They can escalate quickly. Okay, and so that was really my thing. Is I just wanted to make sure that it seemed like still realistic and not just like, oh my god, shit escalated.
No, from my place, it's very realistic, which I like. And it's a surprise. It's an interesting twist.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had based on Gio's description, I felt something was gonna kind of go a little bit more
right
than what was originally happening prior to him coming into the scene.
Right.
But I didn't expect the way that it fully went.
Dope. That's awesome. And then I guess my other thing was I had someone read it recently and they said, I changed it a little bit, but they said when I wrote it, they initially thought I was setting it up that Gia was a John, right?
I
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that, but if I remember correctly, Simeon processes that thought in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
And so him processing that, me as the and then finding out that's wrong, helped me as an audience member because I was able, because I'm following his mindset.
Okay. He said that I should just take it out.
I mean, take out the whole scene.
No, take out the part about prostitution altogether. I just wanted to explain that Simeon's not like, it's really about Jax's character. I wanted to explain that he's not just a drug dealer, that he's only using drugs for his clients.
Gotcha.
And it's not that he's, and so I didn't want to just say, oh, he deals drugs, because then I think that puts a certain light onto Jax that I don't think is the point of the story. The point of the story is that he's like, he doesn't really use guns. He's not a violent person. He does illegal shit, but he's not a thug, a gangster.
Right.
He's more of like he's a call boy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So I'll have to figure that out.
I was going to say, I wish I could read the whole thing and give you more feedback.
Oh yeah, one day. I'll let you, I'm getting closer. I'm almost done. Like, I think once I write the scene that I'm writing right now, I have like maybe 2 more scenes to write. Maybe one. For sure one. But then maybe, I think that one scene might turn into 2 scenes. But yeah, but then that's it.
Are you excited? I know this has been like a long labor of love.
So much longer than I thought it was going to be. So much longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah. And it is time for our next sprint. So let's get it in.
Yep, I'm gonna throw up the prompt.
Okay.
This one's very pandemic related, so
Oh, heavens. All right, everyone in the chat, if you are writing along with us, thanks for hanging out. And what's going to happen right now is we're going to go to our next sprint, which will be 10 minutes. Just sprint. There's a prompt in the chat. If you have something to write or if you want to organize your closet, whatever you're doing, let us know what you're doing. We know Ricky's working on her graphic that she has to create, and Jessica is working on her Storytellers Across Georgia. And if you're working on something, let us know. If you're not working on anything and you just want to practice, go ahead and hit up that writing prompt that Liz just threw in the chat, and we'll see you shortly.
have fun, y'all.
Now I've got writer's block.
I think it always looks out like that.
Oh, snap. Once again, the sprint has sped by.
Yeah.
I had a little writer's block at first, but then I figured it out at the end.
Good.
Yeah.
Pull through. That is good.
Yeah, because once I'm done with this one, like, it's the first draft, so of course there's going to be, like, I'm going to go back in it and find little places, because the person who's dead, I want to insert them a little bit more intentionally in places, a little bit more obviously, too. But I don't want to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want to do. I don't want to give it away. So, once I'm done with it, this scene is pretty important, because it's like, you know, this scene is very important. So I have to get it right. Got to get it right, yeah. Okay, what about you? How's your so you're always doing like outlines and stuff.
Well, yeah, because I can't because of the whole grad school thing. I have to like get approval before I can start writing it, and so it won't be until basically the end of the semester.
I just said, like, I want to always give you feedback, but you don't ever have anything that I can really give you feedback on.
You gave me feedback on my pilot, which I super appreciated.
I did.
Not on stream. It was
Right.
For what a writer's room.
Right.
But, yeah, no, you'll see it when it's done. I promise.
Okay. I believe you.
It's the story that I was telling you about. That I was like, I don't think I'm the one that should be writing this. And you were like, I don't think you should either.
Did I say that? Or did I say that you should? I said that you should just have a writing partner who was black, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's interesting because I do think when I wrote Fall for Me, that's the response that I got, that I needed to have a writing partner who's a woman. So it happens, you know.
Yeah.
We all have those things where it's like, okay, I want to write this story, I want to tell this story, but, you know, I want to be honest and I want to be truthful and I want to be respectful to whatever or whoever. And so, you know, how do I do that? It's funny because we recently watched Malcolm and Marie. And
what did you think? I know you reviewed it.
we did review it. We reviewed it. It's interesting. I think that the actors did well. I don't think that I don't agree with a lot of the filmmaker's choices.
Yeah.
Politically, did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, politically, I don't agree with a lot of the choices, especially finding out about him, the filmmaker. I was like, oh, you use this black man as your voice box? That's not cool.
Yeah, no, that was super inappropriate.
Yeah, it was. It was very inappropriate. But it sucks because as far as like the content, as far as like were these really great dialogue and the scenes and the back and forth and the response, like as an actor, I'm watching this like, yes, act. But then as a filmmaker, I feel like a lot of his filmmaking choices were arbitrary. I was like, why are you showing, like, that's a beautiful shot. But now I'm thinking about the shot. I'm not thinking about the story.
That was my entire dilemma with the film as a whole.
Yeah.
Because the concept of it is cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of the execution is like pretty to look at.
It's beautiful.
But if you delve into the script and the story, it's just...
But what sucks is he could have still had a beautiful film without, like, literally there were just scenes where they were talking to each other in the shot, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful, this is perfect, yes, because it was the way the shot was framed. It's that the beauty was what we were seeing and watching, not in the shot, if that makes any sense.
Yes,
it's like
100%, yeah. And I think he got really lucky to have the actors that he did, because if it was anybody else,
it could have been horrible. It could have been horrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, with that, literally, because to me the thing that saved it was the actors. Yeah.
Yes.
There were still some, like, it was pretty. It was like a pretty like a cologne or a perfume commercial. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
If you ever need a writing partner with a disability, I'm here. Awesome,
Thanks,
Jessica. That's
it.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, you know, you never think about, as an able-bodied person, you don't think about writing. I've just never thought about writing a story because I guess I've never had that experience, so I've never thought that that's an experience I should write about. But that's really smart to write about it with a partner who has a disability. So
100%. Yeah. I have a friend of mine who's actually working on a pilot that involves a disabled character.
Oh crap! Once again, forgot the timer. I'm like, how long do we have till we sprint? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that he started working with a new partner, specifically for the reasons we were talking about, and the script is really great.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So if you're out there and you're like, I don't know if I should write this because I don't know if I have the correct life experience, get a writing partner who's lived that life. Work with them. Talk to them.
Someone who lived that life.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't try to. Yeah.
I think it's great though. Like, it looks like though, if we're looking at 10 minutes, we have 40 minutes, so we'll do a break, a sprint, a break, a sprint. Okay, great.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll have time. So we have 2 more sprints. Yeah, we got 2 more sprints. We try to end at 8 just because that's like, you know, if we had like a massive amount of people, we might stay longer. But for the people hanging out with us, you guys are awesome. Next Saturday, we actually had a lot of fun on that first book club thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all we do is promote shit on here. Like, but it's fun.
About stuff.
We do talk about, but like we're not getting any money, so whatever. Yeah. So I'm just like, look, I don't care. I'll promote it. We're doing, Blake Snyder wrote this amazing book about screenwriting called Save the Cat. It's like literally whenever you talk about screenwriting, it's one of the first books anyone I've ever known or heard about screenwriting has read. So I was like, you know, I haven't read it, so let me read it. So we are going through it 2 chapters at a time. And we are doing like a book club kind of thing where we get together and we discuss it. So our next book club session is next Saturday at 6 o'clock. And you can see us on Twitch. See us on 8 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific?
Yeah.
Pacific.
Yeah,
Specific.
I just like to clarify because you never know where people are from.
Uh-huh. And so we're going to be doing that. And I actually have a book that I want to do afterward. I'm not really sure, but
Which one?
I'm not sure. That's why I don't want to say it yet, because I'm not sure yet. But I really want to do it, and so it'll be fun. Come out, hang out with us. Even if you haven't read the book, we had a lot of people in our chat that day that hadn't read the book, and they were just hanging out with us. I'm supposed to watch Little Miss Sunshine by next Saturday, and I don't think I'm gonna be out because I don't know where it is.
It's hold on, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Because I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to pay for it. I just have a lot of things that I have to save money for right now.
No, that's completely fair. This is a promotion for something that does not give me money.
Yes.
An app. It's called Just Watch, and you can type in any title, and it will tell you exactly where to find it.
Okay.
Which is
You can also do that at Google.
yeah, but like it'll also give you the prices if it's not on a streamer.
Let me see.
And it's on Netflix.
It is? Okay, then I have no excuse.
Oh wait, no, they just took it off. It's on Fubo now.
Oh, I don't have that.
It was on Netflix. It's no longer. It's on Hulu.
That-
Or you can rent it for $3.99 on Apple TV
Listen.
or Amazon.
Listen.
What's up?
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Okay, I might borrow your Amazon Prime.
It's not on Prime though. It's. I know.
That's like when people have stuff on HBO and don't have it on HBO Max.
I know.
Or vice versa. It's like, what?
So much.
That's crazy. You make me pay all this money for this?
Exactly. Make it easier. Put it all in the same place.
That's why, like, to me, I've always told my friends and family, look, if you buy Hulu and Netflix, not so much anymore, because now you have, like, I feel like now you have to have Disney Plus and HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, HBO Max is like, all of our movies are coming out on HBO Max. None of them are coming out on theaters. It's like, well, gotta buy HBO Max, because those are some really great movies. I haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984. I heard it was bad. Terrible? The first one was so good. How do you go from that first one to terrible?
I can tell you what I think happened.
Don't tell me any plot, but tell me, yeah.
The producers, 2 male producers, decided to insert themselves into the writing process and make it what they wanted instead of what the director wanted.
Patty Jenkins should have let her do her job.
That's what I'm saying. But that's literally.
Were they white men?
Yes.
Oh man.
So all of the things that I consider to be problematic with it
Have to do with the male perspective.
Yes.
Jessica says it's deeply bad.
Yeah, I agree. Jessica's not wrong.
Deeply bad.
It's really, really, really bad. And it makes me so sad because Wonder Woman is one of my favorite superheroes. Like ever since
I like Wonder Woman. I can't say she's one of my favorite, but I like her.
And they took this amazing woman that's essentially a demigod and made her
A superhero.
no, not even. They made her a weak woman who's so caught up
And a man? Yeah.
20 years later.
Let me. Okay, wait. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Sorry, it just makes me so angry.
I bet. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
If you do watch it, you should let me know what you think.
I'm probably gonna like it because I like it's really hard to displease me when it comes to action films. It's very hard. It's very hard. Like although look, Charmed is my favorite television show.
Right.
It's very hard to displease me.
But Charmed at the time was fantastic.
Yeah, but even still, like it had its imperfections that I just looked past. Like it's funny. There's this scene in season 8 where the source comes back, and Paige, her character came in season 4.
Right.
So season 8, her character turns to the sisters and goes, "How did y'all vanquish the source the last time?" But she was there.
Right.
She was the reason that they vanquished the source because of her power. So it's like, but I was just like, okay, fine.
That's such an interesting oversight.
It's an incredibly my issue with that oversight was that, like, okay, as the actors, I wanted them to catch that one, but I kind of can get why they did it. It's like we've done. No, I think if they had, I think they didn't catch it because they've done how many episodes and how many times have the rules been changed and yada 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 yada. I'm pretty sure to them it was just like, oh fuck, I don't know. Let's just write the script, But when they said it, me, like, I've seen every episode like 10 times minimum. So I know when someone's like, "Where was you, bitch? You were there when they killed the source. I saw it 10 times." And that episode, that's my favorite episode. That's what was worse about it. Like that, my favorite episode was when they killed the source. So I was just like, because it's such a good episode. I'm like, this should be the whole series. Like that episode was so dope. Like him taking their powers and them having to fight the source of all evil with no magic. I was just like, yes, this should be like this entire series. Like the stakes should always be this high. But I really wanted to. I kind of want to write for Charmed.
I mean, it's back.
The new one, yeah, I like the new one. I don't like one of the actors in it.
Who? Or do we not want to?
It's not that I don't. I actually like the actor's work a lot. I'm not gonna say who it is. I like the actor's work a lot. I don't like a lot of the actor's choices in this one, but it might be that I don't like the actor's circumstances.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Because maybe
That's a distinction.
it could be that. The more I think about it, it's like I know I don't like the character. And so that might be it too. Because I feel like the character's always doing things that annoy the hell out of me and everyone. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? Do this thing. Don't do that. And it's just interesting. But, sometimes you need that in a character.
This is true.
We should do a session about that, character building.
Character development, yeah.
Have we done
I
one?
thought that there was a class previously about that. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Like way at the beginning.
It might have been one of our. That's why I like C dramas and K dramas. Is that Chinese dramas and Korean dramas?
And Korean dramas.
They have
Yeah.
one season, no time to get sloppy. See, my favorite thing about TV shows is multiple seasons.
But I will say, K dramas are uniquely specific. I haven't watched any C dramas. I need to hop into those a little bit. K dramas I've just started to dip my feet into.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very distinct in their storytelling. And I can't for K dramas specifically, I'm a fan of the one season thing. I think
Really?
it's very succinct. Yeah.
I like supernatural type shit. Like I really love watching a show for decades, if I could, because the character development. I cried my fucking face off when the last 2 episodes of Supernatural.
Of Supernatural.
Yes, I cried my face off.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course you did.
Like, they've been through so much.
It was so good. But then, like if it ended any other way than how it ended, I would have actually been a little disappointed. Only in I don't even think I would have known I was disappointed. Just after seeing how it ended, I was like, wow, that was perfect.
Well, especially because of the way that they ended it the first time they thought they were going to kiss
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
And they tied it up so nicely
Ugh.
and had to reopen it.
Ugh.
This is the most logical way that they could have
Yes.
done it for a second ending.
Yes.
And I know so many people were pissed.
I wasn't.
Don't care.
I don't care. It was perfect. I don't care what you like. Even as sad as it was, I was like to me, I was like, that's a fucking story that you told.
Yes.
You told a story beginning like, oh.
Oh my god! And just I can't believe they made it as many seasons as they did.
And I watched every season. That's the crazy thing about it. Like I watched every season, even if it wasn't like when it aired, I would watch it like really, like yes, okay, Abaddon, okay, all this stuff. I kind of forgot what happened to Crowley. I don't know why I don't remember what happened to Crowley.
Crowley.
Clearly, he's dead somewhere.
Lucifer kind of effed him up a lot.
Oh, okay.
And like took his spot in 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And then killed him, if I remember correctly.
I think so. I think that was with it because that's why his mother got all anti-Lucifer. But it's just so we're gonna go into our next sprint.
Yeah.
Because we got like 2 more sprints to do. This one and then the next one. If you're hanging out with us, we're gonna put a writing prompt in the stream. Feel free to write that. Let us know what you're working on. If you're still with us, let us know how your graphic is going. And Jessica, let us know how your writing across Georgia is going. Storytellers across Georgia is going. Supernatural freaked me out because the events at the beginning of the first episode happened on the day. Ooh, yep, that would do it for me too.
Ooh, yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we're gonna start. Just I want to get off schedule. All right, here we go. Alrighty. It's like the last 2 minutes, boom, are just like, shoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, so we got some. Ricky said, I got to a stopping point so I could get my kids home. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it yet. Why aren't you feeling it? What's wrong with it? Tell me what's wrong with it. All right, that's another sprint down. Honestly, like, that's why I love doing these sprints, because it makes me unedited. No, how am I trying to? It makes me write unedited.
Yeah, and just kind of let it out.
Yes.
We use that time.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, no, and it kind of forces you to just whatever's on your mind you write, and then afterwards you can go back and be like, oh, that didn't work at all, but I'm happy it's no longer torturing me.
Right. But I don't think it's ever that it just doesn't work. It's always that I think, well, for me so far, I've always found something afterward and been like, oh, okay, this part works, that part doesn't.
Right. No, I'm being facetious and hyperbolic.
You do the Geeking Out designs on Illustrator? I thought you did them on Canva. Do we have any other editors in the chat, or anybody else who does writing? How's everyone else's writing going? How's your writing going, Jessica? What were you saying, Liz?
Nothing. I was just thinking out loud.
You were saying something.
I don't remember.
Haha. I'm sorry, man. Listen, I be trying to talk to the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, so I was thinking about what you were saying as far as we would always talk about your stuff, and you never give me stuff to well, no, because you did before. I'm sorry. This is one of those moments where my brain has already concluded something, and it's currently thinking ahead, but I'm still back here talking to you.
Okay.
So, long story short, after the stream, I'm going to send you some stuff.
Okay.
Because I'd love to hear your opinion.
Great. And I wrote the first part of Bandits. And I want you to read it.
Yes.
Because I want to condense it. I just don't know how.
What is the current length?
Right now it's 10 pages.
You want to condense it?
This is not just the first scene. Like, so it's the teaser and then the big action sequence I told you. And so writing it and reading, I was like, this feels like the beginning of a movie. Which part of me is just like, well, seeing as how TV shows are going nowadays, I don't know if that's a bad thing.
That's true.
So that's why I kind of want to get your eyes on it and just be like, yeah, you should shorten this. This is my first time working on this. Right now, it feels more like journaling than a performance piece. What is it? What is Storytellers Across Georgia? What is that? We got about 8 minutes. Tell us what it is, and we'll talk about it. But yeah. So like when I wrote it, it's like, all right, because I really want that. I told you these scenes are really important. Mm-hmm. So to me, I want so many things to happen in the first sequence. Let's not call it a scene. It's a sequence where I want to show like the dynamic of their relationship, the hierarchy of their team. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the most powerful? I want to show, like, we get to see so much stuff, but we also get to learn a lot. Like, we get to see the limits of their magic. Like, the white mage uses her magic or his magic and almost passes out. Like, you know, we get to see stuff like that happens within the world. We get to see vampires. So we understand immediately, like, okay, we see a world where vampires, and then this one guy is some sort of supernatural thing because he can defy gravity, and we don't know what that is. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, we get this idea of all this stuff going on, right? And then right after that, it's a flashback scene to the main character when they're like a child. So it kind of slows down, right? And so the next few scenes are like more dialogue heavy, and you know we have 2 big action sequences in the first episode. One of them is the first one. The second one is this sequence where they get trapped in this hospital. 2 of them get trapped in a hospital full of vampires. And then, you know, they have to make their way out. Like, the idea is, I'm spilling all the tea. Okay, wait, Ricky, I'll tell you when we got there. It depends on what I'm going for. If it's simple, I can put something together on Canva. I was trying to recreate something, and it didn't come out how I wanted, and I can't find the right font. So when you're on Illustrator, you can, like, draw things, and you don't have to use, like, that's the one thing maybe I do need to get Illustrator.
Illustrator's great.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's just...
You don't ever have to take an Illustrator
I did.
In tech classes, yeah.
Everyone had to take. I don't know what class it was. Kimberly Manuel taught it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know what class it was called, but I took it. I definitely took it. But it wasn't something that I was like. I'm glad I actually did take it. Now that I think about it, because I only used the skills in that class, and then for arts management. Because remember, we had to. Did you take arts management?
I can't. I know I took stage management. I
Right.
don't remember if I took
You had to take stage management. Well, arts management was led by Kate, and we got put in these groups. And in the group, we had to come up with like a theater mission statement for the theater.
Oh, then no, I did not.
We had to come up with like a theme, and then we had to come up with a season.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's a great class.
yeah. And then
I bet that was super helpful. Yeah.
it was incredibly helpful. Like, I remember we chose Cinderella as our Christmas show, and then one of our other shows was A Flea in Her Ear. And I remember because we went to Jim to record a radio ad for it, and it was so funny. I remember him going, "Shonda who? Shonda Beast." It was just really funny. I think he still has that commercial too. But yeah, that's an excellent class.
Yeah. I'm mad I didn't take it. I don't know why I didn't find it for it.
I think they didn't have it often, and Kate taught it too. So, and that was one of the only other classes that I think she taught other than directing,
Directing.
because she was teaching at least 2 directing classes a semester, every semester.
I think you're right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then second semester was always the 1 acts.
Yeah.
They crapped out when she left. Sorry about it. Said what I said. Say what I said.
I've heard rumor. I met, well, I don't know how, I feel bad talking about people on stream because I can't be here to actively be like, here's my defense.
Well, you don't have to say the person. We can talk about it later if we don't talk shit about people. I don't care about talking shit about people who talked about me for 4 years when I was a child and they were an adult. Don't give 2 shits. Not no more. You're talking about professors, right?
I'm talking about the specific professor that took over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know her.
Okay, that's
Okay, right.
And so that's, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say as like a one-on-one, we're hanging out. She's a cool person, but I heard stories after the fact. Class changed. I was like, oh, that's a
Well,
bummer.
but here's the thing that sucks about it. It's like, it
Taught me everything.
yeah, it's gonna change. Kate is a genius. You can't reproduce that. Like,
Right.
you lost the genius. I mean, whoever's gonna come after her is set for that person because they're gonna get compared inevitably. So,
Yeah. No,
yes.
do they still do 1X? Or was that?
I haven't checked in on those folks. I don't know. I do not know. All I know is that the school is still up and running even after that whole investigation. So that's why I'm just like, and then what's great, the investigation found that there was like justifiable reasons to have those claims. So I'm just like, okay, so now what?
Right. Like, what comes next? It took y'all long enough to reveal the results of the investigation.
And then the results were saying, oh yeah, all these statements were founded. So now what?
Exclusive. So now what are you gonna do about it? Exactly. No, that makes me so angry.
That's the part that makes me angry. It's like, we did all of that to what?
To say like, oh, you're correct, but we're still not gonna
Do anything?
South Georgia.
It's
No.
like, okay.
That's,
That's why I feel some type of way. Remember we had that conversation about that thing we're doing, and I was just like, that's why I feel some type of way, because I don't really connect with any of the people. Crystal and Larry. Is Larry still there?
I
But
have no idea. I haven't checked in.
But Crystal is like the person who I feel most like, because I feel like if I ran into any of the rest of them, I wouldn't have mean things to say, but I would only want to talk. I would only want to tell them like, looking back, these are the things you need to know that you did to me as a child, and that you know what I'm saying. And I don't
Yeah.
really want to have that conversation.
I understand that.
It's a
program
project-
from Georgia Council on Developmental Disabilities. 10 people with developmental disabilities to be filmed telling their story and to be shown in cities across Georgia. That's amazing. Oh my God.
So what are you writing for it then? If you're going to be filmed,
Of what you're saying. Yeah.
oh, you're writing like what you're going to say. It's not like an interview.
I had arts management with Becky. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was back. No, it was Kate. Mine was with Kate. Yeah. Because it's the pizza thing. The pizza. That's how I remember.
Pizza thing.
She said, you know, when you're creating a theater, you need to research the other theaters in the town because, like, who would go to Chicago and sell pizza?
Oh, okay. I got it.
She's like, you know, because
Know your purpose.
you'll do well at first because you're the new pizza place, but then after a while you'll just be another pizza place in Chicago, so you're not gonna, your business won't like have longevity. Kind of like a certain theater in Atlanta that I can think of.
Just one?
Is it a common thing? Well, it's hard. Like in Atlanta, a new theater, it's like it's gonna be new, but then how's it gonna stay? Because there's so many theaters, and especially when you have places like the Alliance and like True Colors that do like different stuff and not just all one thing, it's really gonna be hard to really find a footing in a place like that.
I'm so curious. We'll talk after.
We'll talk after. Alrighty, we have about.
Guys, I know you're watching. You're like, man, I really want to be in on this.
We just don't want to trash these people
Yeah.
in public. Like, especially if they're not here. It's not that I care about trashing, because I don't think I'm going to trash nobody, but talking about people in public sometimes can be messy. Messy boots, and we're in a whole pancoco, so.
I think we're.
Yes, we are. We are.
Yes.
We are. I see it. I was actually on it this time.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so this is our last sprint. What is it? What am I doing? It's our last sprint for this evening. We're gonna sprint. You'll probably have some announcements, and then we're gonna let you all go for the evening. We love you guys for hanging out with us, and those who are chatting, even those who aren't chatting, we love you guys. You're awesome. Thanks so much, Ricky and Jessica, for hanging out with us, and I hope y'all got some work done. Let us know if this last stream helps you a little bit. We're gonna kick this music up once this prop gets in the chat, and if you're
Jessica, when you do film your thing, will you send it to us so that we can see it? Because we want to support and share.
Of course.
Sorry, yes, keep going.
I did not mean to yawn just then. That was so rude. That was so rude, and that was not my intent. I yawned at everything. I said, All right. So.
Okay, yes.
Oh my God. I gotta show you this when we get off the stream. Okay. All right, here we go, guys.
All right.
Prompts in the chat. Okay. It went well. I'm literally almost done.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations!
Yes. I mean, I told you I was trying to figure out how to make that scene work, how to take it from, because I had to change it and how to take it from what I had to add the gun part into. So essentially, you read the beginning. Well, I read the thing to you about what. So then I had to add the other scene is the scene that you were thinking about before. If you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So the scene that you were asking, like, about that the other scene that you read, I had to add the information about the gun into that scene,
Gotcha.
but still keep it like sweet and romantic and have both parts of that. Because for what happens, you want to understand that they really like love each other. So.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Excellent. Okay, so that is our stream for today. A little over time, but it's okay. We will be back next Saturday at 6 o'clock for writing stuff. We have a lot of content on the channel, though. So next Saturday, 6 o'clock, we will see you for Save the Cat, chapters 3 and 4. Read 1 through 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that you're caught up if you haven't read the first 2 chapters. If you have read the first 2 chapters, we'll see you then. Just so that you know what we're talking about when we reference things. It's a great book, especially if you're a writer, screenwriter. It's dope. Every Saturday at 6, we'll have some sort of content. If we don't have a stream, that means that we're in a private session, which generally means that we're reading someone else's work and giving feedback. We like to have those be private so that the author can have their discretion and their confidentiality about their pieces. Other than that, Geeking Out is on Monday at 8, and Talk It Out is on Thursday at 8. Geeking Out, this week our topic is movies about aliens. So we're going to geek out about movies about aliens, and of course we'll talk about all things current events and everything like that. Then we have Talk It Out. The topic this week is criminal justice reform, oddly enough. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. I'm not sure where you're watching us. If you're on Twitch, thank you so much. We're actually bringing some more exclusive content to Twitch, which will include some cooking tutorials, drawing tutorials, and all that other stuff. So we're trying to get that worked out now. We love you guys. Do you have any comments, Liz?
I do, yes. If you are a writer and you have a piece that you would love to have read out loud by actors and then receive talkback and / critique after the fact, we are accepting pieces for both, April. April and May, truthfully.
April and May, yep.
You can hit me up on Twitch at E2TheLiz, ETOTHELIZ, or on Facebook, Liz Shad. Let me know. We want to feature you. We want to get you all that sweet, sweet feedback and have you hear it out loud.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica and Ricky, for hanging out with us. Everyone else in the chat who was just hanging out and writing, who didn't decide to chat, that's totally awesome. It's totally dope. We see you. We love you. Thanks for being here. Especially those of you who are always here, and I really appreciate that. And I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure where you're watching because we're streaming in multiple places, but wherever you're at, if you want to, head over to our YouTube and help support the channel literally just by subscribing to the channel there, following us here, or, giving a like to this video on YouTube, and, comment, get some interaction there, help us with our algorithm. I don't have any more comments, so I'm going to do this, and we're going to go ahead and head out of the stream for today. At some point, I would like to do a raid. I haven't figured out how to do a raid yet, but when I figure out how to do a raid, that's what we're going to do. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great night. Please be safe. Please wear your mask, and then be kind to each other, okay? Bye.